Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and you can probably see Elliot down here too. And I have an update for you, and I'm reading from Matthew chapter 11, verse 29. Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. I was talking to a friend not long ago, and we were talking about going to acupuncturists and massage therapists and people like that we practitioners, where we find that we get a lot of rest, good restful moments, chunks of time at these places. And we were relishing in that, but also discovering that, reminding ourselves that we go to these places because we need something, right? We have pain, or we find that we need to get readjusted or aligned or something, and we get this benefit of rest, even for just a bit when we go. And then my friend also noted, it's too bad we can't find ways to do this without doing it as a result of pain. Why, in other words, why can't we just find rest? Because we need rest. Because if we got the good rest first, we might not be in the kind of pain that we are finding ourselves chronically in. So, I wonder what kinds of things you do to try to find rest for your soul. I wonder in what ways you are carrying loads and stresses and things upon you, maybe that have found their way into your body, that come out as pain, that find their way in and express themselves as pain. Or maybe it's just stress that you find, that you feel, that you're aware of, things that make us weary. And I wonder what you do with that. Going to an acupuncturist and massage therapist aren't the only things that I do. Of course, some of that happens, some of my addressing that comes through my prayer life as well. But in this passage, there's this beautiful and challenging scripture around this yoke image. We're going to talk more about that on Sunday. But there's this way that it's such a beautiful invitation to come to Jesus and let our souls find rest. And I think for many of us, that's a kind of hard to follow invitation, hard to respond to invitation, hard to believe invitation that Jesus could give us that kind of soul rest. So I'm interested today in inviting you to contemplate, what is it that your soul is longing for? What kind of rest? And where do you find that kind of rest that you need already, even in little bits? And what might you do in response to hearing Jesus' invitation? I wonder if one way we might do this is just to let this video be an invitation to be still or quiet, or to rest, even for a couple of minutes. You can even pause the video right here and just take a couple of moments, and however long it makes sense to you, to just be. Or maybe in that time you take a little nap, or you do something that's restorative to you. And maybe in that time too, you have some bit of a conversation with Jesus about the longing and the need that your soul has for rest. I wonder what it might be like for us to trust that Jesus does have the ability to give us the kind of rest that we long for. My sense is, again, that this is hard for us, that we are more likely not only to go to practitioners or other people to help with this. That's not knocking. I love to go. I find that it's very helpful to me. But sometimes we do that in lieu of going to Jesus. I wonder too, I also noted that we tend to do that after the fact, right? After we are struggling in some way, that we then break down and go and get the help we need, while Jesus is here all the time, all along. Of course, Jesus and a therapist or a physician are not the same. One is not a replacement for the other. We need both, but I wonder if we always allow Jesus to be part of this equation as much as Jesus longs to be part of this equation for us. So some things for you to consider there. So this Sunday we are doing our summer lectionary series. So this is where the lectionary, the Revised Common Lectionary, is a prescribed set of readings for every Sunday in the year. And it's a 3-year cycle, and each of the 3 years has a different gospel that you focus on. So we are in year A, and this is the year of Matthew, and so that is where we are. We're starting in the middle of the year, so we're starting with the 11th chapter here, and we'll read on for the coming weeks. I do invite you to read the book of Matthew this summer. It's been a while since you read a whole book of the Bible, or particularly Matthew, all the way through. So I invite you to read and to see what surprises you, what challenges you, what comforts you, what is familiar to you, what you've forgotten about since the last time you read it, and to let this be part of the invitation for the summer for you. I also want to invite you to notice, you'll see in this email, there's an invitation for you to participate in a course. It's a 2-part virtual course that High Tops is offering. If you're not familiar with High Tops, it is an organization that's based here in Princeton, but is really a statewide initiative. It is meant to provide sex education and safe space for queer young people, teens, young adults, and they do advocacy work with the state and through the school systems and all sorts of things. They do provide a physical safe space for and programming for all identities and people that need to go or desire to go, want to go and be part of that, and so much more. But they are offering a curriculum that is particularly faith-based. I've gotten to see a preview of this curriculum, and I have to tell you that it's excellent, and I would invite you to go. And this is for everyone. What it does is it takes a data-based approach and a very practical approach for any of us who are in places like church where young people of any age really, might come and ask us to be an understanding, welcoming, loving presence in their lives. So it is a curriculum that talks about sexual identity and gender identity and expression. It helps us learn terms and helps us understand things like transgender and the use of pronouns and what to do if someone, what to say, how to respond when someone comes and tells us about their gender identity or expression or their sexual orientation. And I think that this is a place where we can all learn and we can all grow in our understanding. It's not about our agreeing or disagreeing. It's not about convincing or any of those things. It's merely about being a community, a loving, safe space for one another. And I encourage you to do this. One of the things that was so striking to me in this is that the data is really striking when it talks about suicide rates, bullying rates, things that really put people in danger. It is so much higher in the more risky in the queer community, and it is so important. It is a life-saving thing for us to learn about this and to learn about it together. So I invite you to pay attention there and to join us for these sessions this summer. All right, friends, it is a joy to be with you, to be on this journey. Remember that you are created for joy, that we are enough because God is enough, and I look forward to being with you soon.